the wife that I chose is better than the man that I am. I married a woman 2 sizes too big. I have to grow into Aventer. She's a coat. I still can't fit her. She's bigger than me. And she's had to cover me while I grow up. I got to grow into her.
But she's a covering.
She's a covering, not a lid.
Ooh,
because if a man marries a lid, she'll stop your dream. But if you marry a covering, she'll push you to your destiny. Now, I'm about to shout and tear this whole thing up. I'm just telling you.
All the way out of this studio.
Let me tell you something. My wife has endured more pain birthing me than both of our children. She has sacrificed these last 8 years uncovering the painful areas of my manhood and covering the areas that could have exposed me. She deserves anything I can give her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm going to live the rest of my life to honor her because she gave me what I couldn't give myself, which is a chance to heal while still seeing the God in me.
Now, what I'm about to say ain't about him personally, and I say that because I honestly think he meant well. But to be honest, there's a lot of problems with what this clip, just in its own little format that's going viral, is communicating. And it's not even about what he said, but more or less what he left unsaid. Maybe it's the editing or something like that. But what he is saying is his truth. And you can't be mad at a man for that. You know, he's talking about what he had to come from, or grow from, heal from, overcome, in order to become the version of the man that he is today. That's very relatable to a lot of people, myself included. Especially the part where we made the mistake to try and love somebody despite that, and wrongfully ask that they love us in return. But the part that I'm missing, the part that was left out, was where all of this, what he described, was problematic, was a big issue, not something that was romantic, in which I thought I was tripping for, feeling like, you know what, that kind of got communicated, that this was some kind of rags to riches story, like made it through it all, you know, through the fire, to the storm, and the rain type of shit. But then when I looked at the reaction of the women that were listening to him, I'm like, no, this absolutely did come off as something that was like glorified, as something to do like the wave. And no, it should have been asked whenever he mentioned those things in order to make this a constructive conversation, were things like, okay, in that 8 years, that you dealt your wife so much pain, you equated or even say that it exceeded the pain that she endured giving birth to your 2 children, what was the toll taken on her? What was the price that she had to pay trying to love a broken man? More importantly, because again, this ain't about him, what is the price that any woman can expect to have to pay for trying to love a broken man? What scars is she still dealing with to this day that may never heal? And if no scars, then just in that 8-year time span of trying to love you and raise you and give birth to you as a man, what would you say she risked resorting to? Because she already had her own battles to fight, but here she is fighting yours because you didn't get them to a point where you didn't need her to fight your battles for you or cover you in the places that you still needed healing. Like, that's how the conversation should have went. And I say that because these days we have this habit in one form or another, whether we're praising a ride or die chick for enduring all this shit and now she a real one because she did, we have this habit of glorifying dysfunction and toxicity at the hands of a man while simultaneously using that as a measurement stick of the worth of a woman. And another part that got to me, man, when I heard him say, you know what, there's a difference between, basically, I'm paraphrasing here, between a woman that's a lid and a covering. In which I agree with him. It was poetic and romantic. I love that. It's cool. We're going to make that distinction between a woman that can propel you towards your destiny versus a woman that can stunt your growth or keep you from that. But in reference to the type of man that he's describing, a man that, when a woman comes to only love him, he exchanges what would have been 8 years of a healthy, fulfilling relationship that poured into her, helped her grow, and instead gave her 8 years of raising his already 30-something-year-old grown ass. It sounds to me like, no disrespect, he was the lid. And the reason why I'm making this point, the reason why I'm wanting to emphasize this, is because as people who have overcome their past, it's not our responsibility to have a pretty past or to go back and change it, but we do have a responsibility to do right by that past by any recounting it, making sure that we correct the misunderstanding that we once had. For those listening to us, for the next generation, shortening that learning curve, instead of reinforcing that misunderstanding, which in this case is the expectation of a woman exclusively to be put through hell in order to receive heaven from a man that she loves. And that's what I have an issue with. So y'all let me know what you think in the comments, man. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Derrick Jaxn, sir, you posted something and then you limited your comments. So my husband can't post to you, neither can I. Now, what's amazing about that is that's a little bit cowardly. But what you will not do, and everybody who knows me by now, is one thing you will not do is come from my husband. If it's lies, now if it's the truth, talk about it. But if it's lies, we're not doing that. I don't know if you're married. I think I hear that you cater to single people, and that's cool. And the other part is that I heard you actually just got married. But you don't want your followers to know on that. So for somebody to take a moment that's actually called to heal marriages and pervert it the way young sir did over there, it's a no on so many levels. But and people can say that we address too much or whatever. We can do what we want because it's our social, and if you don't like it, you can gladly turn it off.
So for those DMing me asking had I seen Pastor John Gray and his lovely wife's IG live chat about me, yes I have, and I heard all the comments, in which I was a little bit disappointed only because like what could have been a potentially great ongoing dialogue, it got turned into something personal, despite me saying several times and even beginning my message yesterday with,
what I'm about to say ain't about him personally.
And with that, I'm still not about to take it there and clap back or throw any insults back, because what somebody has on their heart about me ain't none of my business or burden. But what's on my heart is the desire to address problematic mentalities that create toxic relationships that hurt people. And y'all have entrusted me to speak on these things regardless of who likes it, so I will. Now, I'm posting this here because I'm hoping, despite some people's thirst for drama, that we can be an example of how it should go when two messengers have contrarian perspectives and contribute those perspectives to the conversation we still need, which is that women should not be obligated to be rehabilitation centers for broken men, period. Now, I'm not sure if he's seen my DM in which I extended this olive branch or if he's going to see this video like he saw yesterday's. But either way it go, I wish this brother nothing but success. And y'all never feel like you have to choose between me and anybody else. You choose the truth and stand on that unapologetically, because you know I will.
Perfectly justifiable question. Why did you feel the need to call out John Gray when you were doing the same? Is there an explanation? All right, so I do want to answer that. That's from the Shade Room. Thank you, Shade Room, for that question. When I called out John Gray, let me be very clear. Anything that I did, calling anybody out, especially if I aimed it at the person and not the actions, the person, and not condemning just what was done to hurt somebody else, anything that I did was out of alignment. It was prideful, it was egotistical. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I've taken that video down off my YouTube, and I did that last year when I first got humbled. Now, when it came to John Gray, I don't want to make a separation because ultimately we're not different from each other. My sin is not greater than his, any of that stuff. When I called out John Gray, the first video was, he's saying this as if it's a good thing. There's nothing good about what I'm doing. He was saying my wife is a covering for me. She gave birth to me, and it was almost to enable or something like that. There's nothing good about me having my wife come up here for the first time on a video with me because my past has caught up to me. Like the things I did last year and before that have blown up. So my whole message in that video was, okay, you did your dirt, you did what you did, but don't glorify it. Don't in any way encourage anybody else, glamorize it as this is just a part of whatever. If it's dirt there, skeletons in your closet, you make the best of it or whatever you got to do to learn from it, because we're all human. And I actually said that part, and I may actually need to go ahead and unarchive it or whatever. I actually said that part, man, we all got a past. Past ain't pretty. But don't make this like this is something to do. Okay, so that was I don't know which video you're talking about, by the way, because the second video was him and his wife. And then I still was like, look, I don't want no issues, man. Da 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 da. Then the third one, there was a third video, John Gray. And he was going at the church talking about this strange woman. No. His wife was saying this strange woman. I put holy water on this strange woman. I personally felt like that was manipulation. I personally felt like putting everything on the women and not on John Gray was manipulation to a church and playing organs and stuff like that. Again, from a place of pride, it's so easy to call out somebody else whenever you got your own situation. I'm not sure I was having sex with other women at that time, by the way. I have not been having sex the entire marriage. I've had at least some connection with somebody I've had sex with the entire marriage. Just not much of a difference, but let me be very clear. What John Gray was stepping out doing this, I wasn't doing that at that time. Nevertheless, I've done it before, and I have no place to sit there and judge the person. So if I did that, that was wrong. That was out of alignment. That was clown behavior, egotistical. But yeah, that's for Shade Room. I think that was a great question. Let me see. So I don't know if that explained it. There's no justification when I say explain it, by the way.
None.
You look uncomfortable.